Guys, what's going on? It's FloatingWilly here, and today I have another cannon tutorial. Now, what I'm going to be doing today is building a 40 stacker. My old 40 stacker tutorial was pretty bad, so I decided, hey, I'm going to go ahead and make a newer, nicer one right now. So what's going to be different about this 40 stack tutorial is it's going to be a one-shot, and I'm going to show you guys how to do everything and actually do it right. So let's go ahead and get right into it here. So the things this cannon is going to be able to do is one shot, slab bust, and sand stack all in the same shot, and I'll show you guys how to enable and disable that. And you can actually shoot the TNT up vertically if you're going from under a base, and you can do other stuff with it. Alright, now that I got that out of the way, let's get right into it. Alright, so the first thing we are actually going to want to do when actually setting up a 40 stacker is, do we need to one shot? If we do, then that usually means we are pretty close to the bottom of the ground, which basically means you'll stack all 40 sand and then one shot. But if you're shooting at like Y80 or something where all the spawners are in the base, you may have to stack 2 times before you can actually one shot. So right here I'm at Y35. This is the highest the platform can be if you actually plan on one shotting and you have like no ground down here. Like, what I'll actually do is when we actually start shooting at the wall right here, I'll set up walls back there too, just to show you guys that this thing does actually have a little bit of range. Is I'm going to mine this all out till we get to bedrock, and I'll put some slabs down just to show you can get all 40 sand stacked here. Alright, so the recommended Y for the platform is actually 35 if you're just shooting and they actually have trenches, which just basically means they mined out all the blocks down to Y0. So I'm going to be shooting at Y35 here, just to make things a little bit simpler. So right here, this is where I want to shoot in the base. Assume you already have world downloaded the base and you know the exact X you want to shoot. So this is the one I want to shoot at. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back about 2 chunks here, and then we're going to place 2 dispensers there, 2 there, and 2 there. And what these are actually the boosters. These are what is going to compress your main TNT, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, these dispensers, all into one block for maximum TNT efficiency. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to put those on both sides, and we're going to stack these up. Now this part all depends on how far you want to shoot. If you're shooting 30 chunks, which is a little long for a 40 stacker, well, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to stack this up 19, just like this. If you're in world edit, but if you're not, you'd have to manually do it. But this is 30 chunk power, so the less you want, the less you knock off here. I went ahead and did the ratios for you guys, so if you're shooting 30 chunks, basically you're going to want to have this stacked up 20 right here. But if you're shooting 25 chunks, you're only going to want it 17 here. And if you're shooting 20, you're only going to want 14. So just basically for every 5 chunks you're not shooting, just knock off 3 rows here. I'm going to leave this at 30 chunk power because I will be shooting at 30 chunk power. But the minimum I would go is 20 chunk power because usually that's a safe amount on most servers. So what you're going to do here is let's go ahead and get some redstone out. We're going to connect these just like so. 3 redstone just like that. And 2 repeaters going into those 4 dispensers. Then what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to build kind of a backwards L shape here, a backwards L shape here. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to start this process right here of wiring up all of these dispensers. Now how I like to do it is I alternate block and space, and then connect all of these repeaters with redstone, just like so. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is place blocks just like this, and then half slabs going up and down, alternating up and down. And then we just put repeaters on the blocks, redstone on the slabs, and then we just go ahead and repeat that process all the way up. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this for you guys, and I will cut right back when I'm done. Alright, I went ahead and I finished it up for you guys. So now the next part in the process is putting a repeater on 4 ticks, going into that redstone right there, and then putting 2 redstone wires coming off this dispenser. Then we're going to go ahead and replicate that on this side, just like so, and we're going to put some blocks right here. Now what these blocks do is they actually stop the water from spilling in. So judging from what we have here, some people may consider this a little bit complicated, but let me just break this down for you guys. Basically, what is going to happen here? This TNT is going to go off, then this TNT is going to go off. Then a little time goes by because that repeater's on a lot of delay. Then this TNT goes off. So this guy blows up, hitting it all over a little bit. Then this guy blows up, hitting it all over to about right here. So all of this TNT is going to be stopped by a ladder right here. And it's going to blow up. And it's all going to be really efficient because it's all in one block. So that's what the purpose of those dispensers down there is. So in the next step in the process is we're just going to go ahead and build up 5 blocks right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to put a block right there. So this is going to be the outline of our barrel. And that looks pretty simple. But now, just in case you are shooting east to west, right now I'm shooting north to south. You can check right here. This is the direction you are shooting. So what we're going to do, let's just assume we are shooting east to west. We're going to put a dispenser back here. And what this does is it'll actually align the TNT over to the side. Because a TNT block right here, this is a full block. But as soon as it's powered and turned into an entity, it turns into 0.98 of a block. Which means it can be either aligned to the left or the right. So what we want to do is align it to the left because that's the side the sand and the hammer is going to be aligned to. So the reason I chose TNT alignment here is it's super easy to wire. All you have to do is place a block right here and a redstone just like that. So what we're going to go ahead and do next is hook up the slab bus. So we are only going to have 2 TNT for the slab bus because usually most bases don't have more than 1 or 2 slabs at the bottom. So this is just very TNT efficient and effective. So what we're going to do is we're just going to case off our roof here again. But then right here, I'm going to place 3 blocks, a dispenser, and then another block right here with redstone on top of it. And what this does is they'll actually align this to the left also. So now what we can go ahead and do is place another ring of blocks around it just like that. And we can actually start the sand compression now. So the way we're going to do the sand compression is we're going to place 2 slabs right here, mine down 2 blocks, and 2 slabs right here. What this does is it'll actually prevent the sand from getting stuck inside the barrel when this gets fired. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is place 2 blocks right there, and 4 pistons, just like so. And what these will actually do is push the sand into the barrel in order for it to be shot. So next step right here, we put 2 blocks on top of those, and 2 more pistons. What these pistons will do, this is how, I'll actually set up for you guys how it's going to look in the end. Basically, there's going to be cobwebs here and cobwebs here. The sand's going to be resting on these cobwebs, so it isn't going to fall down. But as soon as you break these cobwebs, what these pistons are going to do, the sand's just going to fall into these pistons, and these pistons are going to push it into the barrel and it's going to get shot out. And that's what keeps it in entity form through the whole process. So the next step in this build, just going from the back to the front here, we're going to place another ring, just like how we have them. Just like this. And what you can do here, if you want, what I'm actually going to do, is I'm going to take glass, and I am going to place it right in here, just so I can see what's going on. This is how I usually like to build my cannons. I like to put glass on the side, just so I can troubleshoot if things actually do end up going wrong. So we can go ahead and start building out our barrel just a little bit here, just so we have enough room. I'm just going to do it that much for now. And then we're going to start the hammer. So what we do, we place 3 blocks right here, a block out, a piston. Alright, what we're going to do with this piston here is we're going to go ahead and put a row of blocks 4 tall, and then another one right next to it. And what this is actually going to do is give us room to put our red sand for the one shot. So I will show you guys how to make that one shot later, but for now, let's continue working on the actual hammer. So what we're going to do is we're going to place 4 blocks just like that, and then a block right here. And then every single one of these blocks is going to have pistons on it, or not pistons, dispensers, facing inwards. So what we're going to go ahead and do with this is we're going to want to stack 11 up it. If you're not in a world edit, that just means put 11 more on top of it, so each row has 12. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that with world edit, and this is going to be our hammer. So what the hammer does, all the TNT falls down, this piston pushes it into the barrel, and what it does, it's one block taller than the sand. We haven't put in the guider yet, but we will soon. It's going to be one block on top of the sand. So the sand is going to get hit down by the hammer, and they're still entities. So as they get hit down, they will gradually sand stack, and that's what actually makes the cannon sand stack. So the hammer is really, really important to have. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're just going to go ahead and wire up the hammer. So how we do this is we place 3 blocks right here, and then 2 blocks right there, and then a block right here on the same Y level as these blocks, and then we're going to come over here and going to place a block right here on the same Y level as these blocks. Now this is a fancy way to do it. A lot of people use torches on a design like this, but I find torches to be rather, they don't usually work out too well on servers. Like, lots of different servers have lots of different ticks, and they're a little complicated to actually get the exact timing you want. So I just use repeaters. So what we're going to do from this point on is place a repeater into the dispensers, just like so. Redstone on those blocks we placed. And then we're going to connect the repeaters, just like so, with redstone. So now what we're going to do is place a block right here and 2 blocks right here, and then half slabs. Repeaters on these 2 blocks. We're going to place blocks on the side here. And for these little side parts, you can just go ahead and alternate block space, and then just put redstone on the spaces, just like so. And we can go ahead and do the same thing on the other side, just like this. And this will actually make sure the whole hammer gets powered. So going ahead, there we go. Connect the repeaters with redstone, and we'll just continue going up the hammer in this pattern, just like so. So I'll go ahead and do this for you guys, and then I'll go ahead and finish it up, so you guys do not have to watch it. But this is just the gist of it. That's how you get it done. Alright, I went ahead and I finished it up, so it should look something like this. This is like the side. It should look something like this, kind of alternating, kind of like how we did the power over here. So that's what it should look like. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is start wiring everything up. I mean, I guess we can start with right over here with the one-shot sand. So what we're going to do is we're going to place another row of 4 blocks right here. And we're going to place a piston on top of it, just like so. So this is where all the one-shot sand is going to sit, and then it's going to curve into here, and that's actually how it's going to get put on there. So that is where we're going to do that. What we can go ahead and do is lengthen out the barrel a little bit now. The length of the barrel, it all depends on how much you want it to be. I usually like to make it out to about where the piston is, right about here, but for the tutorial I'll just go ahead and I'll make it out to about right here. It doesn't really matter in the long run, but I'm just going to leave it like that. So now what we can go ahead and do is we can actually work on this sand compression system here. Moving on to the sand comp, what we're going to go ahead and do is hook up a monostable circuit to it. And if you do not know what that is, basically it makes the redstone length, the signal of it, be really, really short, so the pistons go out, then go right back in again, just so all the sand can fall in a short amount of time. So what we're going to go ahead and do is place 2 blocks right here, redstone on top of both of them. Then we're going to go down a block, place 1, 2, 3 blocks just like so. You can break that block. A repeater on this one, and a repeater on this one. Then we're going to break this one, put a sticky piston, and then put a block. So if I were to go ahead and power it, just make sure there's no TNT in there. Notice how the pistons, here, make sure you're looking at the pistons, how they go out and then come right back in again because of this monostable. Basically what it's doing is it's powering this block. The current's going through the block, but it's also powering this piston, which pushes the block up, cutting off the signal really, really quick, making these pistons monostable circuit. So that is how that works, and that's a pretty easy way to wire it up. Now what we're going to do is actually hook up the ability to reverse on this cannon. So if you don't want this reverse, you can just disregard this, but what you're going to do is you're going to break a hole right here, and then you're going to place a piston just like that. And what I will show you guys how to actually reverse with this later on in the video. Alright, so now what we're going to go ahead and do is work on the main wiring for the cannon. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little square out of cobblestone right here. This is just going to be how it's powered. We're going to place a block right here and make a backwards L just like that. And then what we need to do is we need to get redstone up to here. So what we can do is we can just go up 1 block, go up another block, and then just go like that, and put redstone on top of all of these blocks right here, a repeater here, here, and here. These are all going to be on 4 ticks, just like so. So the next step is to go ahead and place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 blocks, just like so. Redstone on this one, and every single one of these blocks is going to have repeaters on it. So I'm just going to /stack 8 right here, so that we have 9 total repeaters on 4 ticks. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then right here, we need them on 1, 2 ticks, just like so. So this will give distance for this piston to push the one-shot sand on top of the hammer and just barely fall down right until it almost hits the ground, and it'll get pushed in. Because if the one-shot sand actually becomes a solid block, it won't work and it'll screw up your hammer and everything will blow up. So it needs to stay an entity while it's falling. That's why this has to be a distance of 4 ticks apart. Alright, there is not much left to do with the build. So what we're going to go ahead and do right here is we're going to place 3 ladders just like so, and then a row of blocks going all the way to right here. Now what this is the guider, which basically puts the slab bust and the sand under the hammer. So that when it hits the wall, the hammer will be on this block, but the sand will be on this block, and it will get hammered down and it will actually sand stack. So that is why that is important. Now it's time to go ahead and wire up a few more parts of this cannon. So basically, since we have this 20 tall, 1 redstone signal isn't going to make it all the way to the top. So what we have to do is we have to make a tiny little staircase out of half slabs, just like so. Break all this cobble. So it should be 3 half slabs in a block, just like this. Place a block right there, and then a repeater on 4 ticks. And then we're just going to replicate that on this side. It doesn't take long, mainly because I'm in creative mode here. Break these blocks, redstone on all of them, and then a repeater on 4 ticks. Now your whole hammer will be powered because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 redstone signal, and that is the maximum it'll actually go. So what we're going to do now is wire up the hammer. So to wire up the hammer, what we're going to do is place a row of blocks right here, just like so. Redstone on all of them except for this one. That's going to have a repeater on 3 ticks. We do not need to do it on this side because the whole hammer is powered from this side. So now what we need to do though is come over here, place an L out of cobblestone, a repeater on 3 ticks, a redstone, and then a comparator. What this does is it actually makes the slab bust work. So that is how this will all come together here in slab bust, stack, and one shot, all in one shot. Now we actually need to make the actual one shot though. Alright, one of the last steps of the cannon is actually making this one shot. So what we're going to do is we're just going to place a ring of 4 blocks. It's pretty simple. After that, we're going to place 8 dispensers, just like so, all facing inwards. And then how we're going to power that, we're just going to go ahead and staircase up off of this, just like so. Place 2 blocks right here, 2 blocks right here, a block right here, and a block right here. Now it will not matter that these guys are all on the same Y for the one shot, but what we need to make sure we do, oh, we actually need to place a block right there, my bad, sorry. Place redstone on all of these blocks, a repeater right there, and a repeater right here, both on 4 ticks. We're going to do the same thing right there. You can actually make this a half slab if you really wanted to, but it doesn't really matter. I'm actually going to leave it like that just because it looks better. So just making sure that we still have our 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, we are good. We are good in that department. So I already logged my ult on. He's ready to fire. And we don't have much to do except water the cannon, load, and then test it out. Alright, so to go ahead and water this cannon, what we're going to do is I'm just going to place a sponge right here just to make sure the water doesn't push out of the cannon. Just like so, 2 blocks away from the edge of the barrel. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and start from the back. What we're going to do is we're just going to place a bucket here and a bucket here, just like that. So that'll make sure that the booster doesn't blow up. And then 6 water buckets here at the top. Make sure to not place at the ends or it'll screw stuff up on either side. just like that. So it should be looking something like this with the water current going in there. How I like to fix that is I just place a bucket right there and right there, just to make sure there's no water flow at all, because some servers, the TNT likes to mess with the water flow and it's just not fun to deal with. So the next step is to go ahead and place a bucket right here, here, and here. So then after that, we can go ahead and place a bucket right up here, just like that. Now, half of these aren't necessary, really not many of these are, but if you're gonna do the cannon, just water it like I am, because it's not a good idea to not water like I am, because you never know what's gonna happen on your server. So you place those 2 water buckets right there, making sure not to place them right here, or else it'll pour onto your cobwebs. Then what we'll do is we'll fly up the barrel, or the hammer, sorry, and we'll drop a water bucket right at the top there so it flows down. Important thing, just put 2 blocks right there, just in case stuff goes wrong with your water. Place another bucket right here, and then you can place another bucket right here. Water shouldn't pour into there unless you place sources right here, but I didn't do that. So, and then we'll place one right there, just for that clean kind of edge right there up against the cannon. So it is looking ready to fire. I mean, if you followed the tutorial this far, it should be ready to go. I already have a //paste-o, I think, of the sand. Yes, I do. That's just 20 on each. Make sure you have 20 sand on each cobweb right here. And these are how the cobwebs look. Here, I'll fly inside just to show you guys. 2 cobwebs right there. 2 cobwebs on those pistons. And then just 20 sand on each piston. And then to load the one-shot sand, what we'll go ahead and do is we'll place 2 right there, and then you just stack it all the way up as high as you want, really. I'm just going to put it at the same level as the sand, and we are good to go. So making sure I have my slabs down here. Yep, 2 slabs. Everything on 3 tick. Let's just make sure right here. It's never hurts to make sure, guys. /fill here just to make sure everything's filled. And that looks good. The cannon looks like it is ready to fire. Let me just make sure everything has TNT at the top here. Alright, looks like we are good to go. Make sure your cannon's watered. Everything looks good. Cobwebs, good. Alright, we're just going to go ahead and fire. We have 2 slabs down there, just like that. Alright, we'll go ahead and fire here at short range. And then we'll actually start doing some longer range stuff. And I'll show you guys how to do that reverse thing. Easy, just like that, busted right through it. That's nice. That's nice. All right, so now what I'll go ahead and do is I'll shoot it out a little bit just for you guys. All right, I got this wall set up. Got 2 slabs down there. It's about like, I think it's like 12 chunks away or something around there. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and just fire on my alt here that I have sitting, and then I'll just fly over to the wall here, and we will see it actually bust. There it is, busted right through that. Alright, now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to show you guys how to actually reverse with this cannon. Kind of a reverse scatter kind of deal. So what you can do, you can like hook up your own scatter to this if you really want, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how it's done. So basically what you're going to want to do here, I'll just go ahead and set up a kind of a ghetto wall here. Not too far away, so you don't have to fly around. Let's make this out of Brock. And then I'll just place a block right up there. Alright. So what you're first going to want to do here is destroy your guider. So this is pretty easy. Nothing really to it. So that's step 1. Step 2 is break that block so that your hammer goes down here. And then step 3 is take out this glass if you have glass right there, and put a trap door on it just like this, so that your hammer will just slide right under, and place a ladder right there for your guider to kind of rest on when it gets pushed under there. So what this will do is it'll hit the wall and the scatter. What we need to do for this is we need to set this on kind of a later delay. So I like 8 ticks. You may like something different, but I like 8 ticks. So I'm just going to go ahead and fire now. So the scatter is going to ride the guider up top, but the hammer is going to ride lower, just as you saw there. The hammer actually hit the trapdoor as the guider, so it stayed at this Y, but the scatter actually went up here and it got shot up just like that. So that's how you reverse with this cannon. So that is it for this tutorial. If you guys did enjoy, please be sure to leave a like. Now, a 40 stacker is not the best cannon. I am not saying you should use this on like a 160 wall base or anything, but this is just for your quick little raid. You know, there's like a base with like 2 or 3 walls on it. So that's what you would use this cannon for. It is nowhere near ready for an actual big raid. But if you guys did enjoy, please be sure to leave a like. If you'd like to see more content, make sure you subscribe. I'm Floating Willy. Have a nice day.